the fluffy golden sands of the Praia de Rocha, Portimão, Portugal, the home of the 2025 WFDF World Beach Ultimate Championships. We are live with you here for some open division action. We have Spain, one of the medal favourites for this event, taking on Australia's Reef Sharks. My name is Benjamin Rees, delighted to be joined to finish the day here by Becky Thompson, or finish the day for me at least, and I think this is going to be a really tasty matchup. Two nations who are very comfortable on the sand.
Yeah, two teams looking to try to top the pool here in Pool B, their final round of pool action as well. Spain, the runners-up last time around in 2023 as well, and very good on the sand. Australia looking to guarantee their spot in a power pool by potentially winning this game. Yeah,
a win for Australia means that both they and Spain would finish with a 4-1 record, and Australia would finish top of the pool by virtue of the head-to-head. If they lose, they could find their way into the bottom pool. Here's a player to watch for Spain, the former German World Games standout, now situated in the Canary Islands, Sebastian Spiegel. He is such a pro on the sand.
Yeah, moves with such ease, and you can see it in his stats there, but look for him to really help control the tempo as well for this Spanish team. On the other side for Australia, Andrew Jackson, veteran of the game as well. He will also be on the stats board here, Benji, for the Aussies, and definitely one to keep an eye on. Yeah, such a decorated career for Andrew Jackson. Spent a bit of time on home shores for us in the UK, with playing with Clapham and demonstrating his stuff at the European level, and good to see him back on the continent for this contest. Spain in the red with the black shorts up against the green and gold of the Reef Sharks, and the first pool lands out of bounds, and the aforementioned Jackson will bring it to the brick mark. What's the weather like out there, Becky? Well, it's been a pretty still day so far, Benji, but the wind starting to pick up a little bit as we get into the afternoon now, so keep an eye on that one because it could start to take an effect on this game later on.
Yeah, it's not quite the Perth Fremantle Doctor, but certainly something to be aware of. As Jackson gets that one wrong, and Fran Romano instantly flashes through for the block, collecting the return pass now from Quentin Manus. Frenchman based in Madrid, playing with Spain here. Broken around to Ferraro. Little shovel through, back to Romano, and now Manus. Looking for Romano up the line, but he's planted to come back for the reset. And Australia are going to get it back. And they complete their first pass, finding Zabel, but not a second, looking for Kyle O, and it hits the sand.
Execution error on that pass.
Stoppage downfield for a pick.
Both of these teams, Benji, starting this game with a lot of tempo, maybe a little bit frantic in the energy as well, so maybe just need to take a second to adjust.
Francisco Romano finds Manus. Gets it back, and Romano now looking for a next option. It's the break to Jimenez. Romano now taking on the break throw. The defender bids but cannot stop it at source, and David Ferraro begins the game with a Spanish break.
Spain moving the disc so quickly through that handler space as well, Benji. Really comfortable on those backhand break reset shots. And Ferraro, the veteran, 37 years old, out here on the sand, playing for 20 years and making it look so easy, Benji.
And he has had such a decorated career, played across the pond with Pony, and he was part of the Ironside roster that won in 2016, so you know that he is made for the big occasion. There's the first turn, absolutely ripped away by Francisco Romano, but then Manus was looking for him up line, and you see there Romano signalling, just take the easy one for me there instead. But Australia unable to make the most of their second life. And Romano takes on the break throw for the score. Solid start to the game for Spain. Australia, you feel they just need to settle themselves a little bit, I think.
Yeah, just came out a little bit too hot with some of those options. Just execution on the throws as well, popping one too high and one obviously down into the sand. So take a deep breath and reset themselves now for offense.
Poole lands in, goes out of the sideline, which is where Australia will begin. Changing lines and then taking on the inside-out flick. Is this going to sit? Might have had a shot at it if he'd spotted it early enough, but Symbol looked over the wrong shoulder, and as it is, his bid is in vain.
Symbol, you could see his head twisting, looking for the disc. If it had a little bit more float on it, I'd like to think that Symbol would have been able to make a better play, but a lot of zip on that disc and just too far out of his reach.
Juan Carlos Fernandez Troiano, or Troy as he's often called, walks it to the front line of the end zone. Thought he might have been calling a timeout there, but I think he's just signalling the play that he wants Spain to work with. Going to give and go with Fanjarino. Look for Fernandez to really quarterback the D-line on this possession. Diaz finds Fanjarino. Spain going the methodical route here until Troiano opens it up, looking deep. It's tipped round the corner. And despite two players from both sides bidding, in the end it's the sand who wins.
Great track down on defense from Australia. Just put enough pressure to make that catch too difficult for Spain.
Australia start by attacking that inside channel. Dutchman van der Weyden, who's now been situated down under for half a decade. I remember when he left. It does not feel like that long ago. Pick as they clear through downfield. Will stay here in Hodgson's hands. Struggling to see any help, but really good vision to find the crossfield option. Well towed in on that far sideline. Bangs the disc to get rid of the sand. Then takes the short one into Connell. Past a bidding Spanish defender. Fernandez gets back to his feet. And then leading pass with a lovely little bit of loft and sit on it to Van der Weyden. Gets the Reef Sharks on the board. Tied at ones.
Not 100% comfortable here from this Australian team on offense still, but on the second time of asking, able to work it up a little bit better. And credit as well to Chu, who was able to help put pressure on that block to get the disc back, but then when play was stagnating, recognized to cut to the far sideline and open up an option for that big around throw that allowed Australia to then get themselves into that end zone set. See that big around flick to Chu, and did a great job to keep it in bounds as well. And then on the end zone line, working it around. Pressure from Spain, but Australia keeping their cool this time. Good timing on that little isolation cut. Jumps it in easily for the goal.
Well, speaking to Australian coach Brett Latham before the game, who was himself a Reef Shark on the pitch, as well as making the move to coaching later on. But he was saying that rather than we've got an O-line and a D-line, they've got three lines, all named after the different native species of reef shark, the white tip, the black tip, and the grey reef shark. With all the Australian teams, of course, named after indigenous animals, which is one of the things I love. It gives each programme its own particular identity. Spain here moving the disc quickly, as is often their wont. Pasco to Spiegel. Sits it to Hiron. Spiegel now once more. Pasco making the underneath option. Spiegel going every other at the moment. Taking on the break is low, but Alvaro Montere gets underneath it. Past a bidding Australian defender, Spiegel fits it into the end zone for the score. The first time Unai Alastroy got his palms on the disc. And it's to get Spain's offence on the board with a clean hold after that early break.
And Alestroy there setting up a cut that we see so often from these Spanish teams, hanging out towards the back of the end zone and then timing a really nice undercut into that space, isolated in the end zone, and Spain takes full advantage on this one. Really nice stuff from the Spanish team.
I'm interested to hear your perspective on this. Obviously, we highlighted Spiegel as a player to watch pre-game, and he was doing a lot of the work, moving the disc down the field there for the Australians. What do you think it is that makes him such a formidable foe on the sand?
I think he's got a really good ability to change direction quite quickly, and it's his throwing speed, recognizing what's open, when to holster the disc, when to make those decisions. His execution has been top-notch so far. I
just love his ability to throw with touch as well. He gets so much torque through his wrist when he releases it that it really does sit out beautifully for his receivers. That pull is, well, it's going to land in the end zone, but offside signalled by the game advisor, and Australia recognise and echo that call, so they will get the freebie to bring it from the brick mark here with Jackson. He's got the mulleted Kylo on the near side, and 3 players set up horizontally downfield. Helig Smith getting physical with Monus as Jackson goes for the offhand to find the window through to Tran. And now Helig Smith going wide back to Jackson, who goes for the push pass, fits it into Tran. I love it, Becky. Big fan of a push pass, and he picked the right moment for it.
And a bit of contact after that play as well. It's like an injury. Great catch under the pressure, but there was contact, I think, after the catch there, Benji.
Yeah, there's no question about the validity of the goal. Do hope that Wilson Tran, is okay, because he's still down there on the sand.
Confidence from Jackson as well to throw the push pass into that space.
You can see it again now on the replay, just spreading it wide here to Jackson. He gets it out nice and early as well, and it just gets clipped a little bit there as they go down. The bid from David Ferraro.
Yeah, nothing malicious, I would say, in that. Not crashing into his back, but their legs maybe just tangling after the play. Hopefully Tran is okay.
He is still lying prostrate on the sideline, receiving treatment from the Australian medical team. The pull from the Australians fielded by Spain, slap bang in the centre of their end zone. Here's Pasco. Past a bidding Australian defender, that leaves him out of position, and now Spain are off to the races, and Spiegel motors across the sand for a simple Spanish score.
Just love watching the speed at which Spain play, Benji. They're always hitting the first open option. They don't seem to mind if their hips are facing the wrong way. They'll turn and face the way they're throwing every single time, go for the little dish passes, and then that opens up the nice leading space to Spiegel there.
I think that's key, is that a lot of the times, not just on sand, on any surface really, sometimes, especially early in stall counts, you'll see players look off quote-unquote negative options or plays to bad spaces, but what Spain do really well is if someone's open, it's beach. It's really tough to get open, so you've got to take those opportunities while they're there, and it changes those angles of attack so well, and when you bid and you don't get it, Spain really sees a march.
That little dish pass there that opened up that cut to Spiegel, just so quick to be able to pop the disc like that, and it makes it so hard for the defenders to track down.
3-2 Spain lead after that break on the game's first point. Just holds since then. Lorenzo to pull. Mitchell catches and finds Jackson. Dishes to O before he takes some arch. Inside window opens up to Della. Australia trying to play with a bit of verve themselves now. Jackson in those long sleeves, looking to marshal things from the backfield. Shelves the throw down the line, so they go central instead, and then bounce it to O. Trying to prevent these stall counts getting too high, keeping Spanish defenders on their heels a little bit, sitting the break out to space. Mitchell knows that he can't toe that one in, so he comes out and then gets away with a little push pass himself. Was slightly behind Jackson, but he made the adjustment quickly enough for the Australian score.
Australia moving, like you said there, Benji, with tempo of their own. And since the first 2 points of this game, we haven't seen a turnover in the last 4 points. Back-to-back clean holds from both of these teams, showing us what they can do. Get another look at some of those little pop passes. Similar style to the Spanish there, just throwing the way they're facing, able to work it around until options open up. Nice break around as well. And then Jackson just behind him, but makes it look easy nonetheless. The Aussies out here having a lot of fun as well, Benji.
I must admit, I didn't realise the floss was still a thing. But I must admit, I'm not necessarily particularly up with the times at this point. I just want to cast a light on Andy Mitchell there, who was born and bred in the UK before moving all the way down under. Now based in Wollongong, and good opportunity to mention that Wollongong Crank just took home the gold medal at Australian Mixed Nationals last weekend. Pascoe now. Hiron to Alice Troy. Ita Mendy, who really does his best work in the red zone, but this time, even at full strength, he couldn't catch up to the pass from Hozomashi Hiron. But what a block! Absolutely stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Castro with a layout hand block there.
That was filthy, and now Spiegel can pick up, bring it right to the front of the end zone. Itamendi isolated on the sand where he broke out, but this time they do a good job of covering the first option. Itamendi can't toe in, and defender bites, all drawn to the front of the end zone. It opens up the scuba to the back. Itamendi recognises and fits it in to Juan Pascoe for the delightful bookends.
You said it there, Benji. The Australian team just getting sucked in to the front of the end zone, trying to guard the cuts of Spiegel. They did guard those cuts, but it left a wide open receiver at the back of the end zone. Get a shot of that incredible layout hand block. Castro putting his body on the line. He timed that so well. He had to commit to going for that block before the disc was even released, Benji.
I mean, this is full send, because if that's pumped, then you're right out of position and you open up a very dangerous option. But he gambled and he rolled the double sixes. Is that a good thing? I must admit, I'm not really into dice games, but the point stands that his number absolutely came up. He was right to make the gamble. See the boardwalk beginning to fill up as teams wrap up for the day and making the most of the good weather and the festivities here on the Praia de Rocha. That pull, however, not so good, landing out of bounds, giving Jackson the chance to march it to the brick. Still just the one break in this game. Jackson finds the spot. Mira sets on the force. That throw blades early and does not give Kaialo a chance.
David Ferraro in that space as well was tracking it. I have to say, Benji, I think any float on that disc, Ferraro was in a good position to make a play as well. But that disc, like you said, just diving into the sand.
Fran Romano just taking his time in walking it to the end zone line. One who slashes under from that far sideline. Turns, look downfield. A couple of cutters have gone. It's over the outstretched arm of the Aussie defender, Connell. And Ferraro gets his second break score of the game. Spain up 5-3.
Not much Connell could do about that one, Benji. That disc was put out absolutely perfectly into the hands of Ferraro. He set off so early, and Muniz is there. Just really nice disc into space. Spain, another break on the board here, extending their lead.
I mean, they had so long to bring that disc in. It was almost like a pool play, in all honesty, where Romano marches it to the front. He calls this is the plan. Muniz, the instant diagonal under, gets it, turns, pings it deep to a couple of Spanish receivers. Exactly how you draw it up. You see, just comes deep from that far sideline, gives Muniz the option to shoot right down the centre of the field.
It had two receivers going as well, so more than one option. Just had to put it into space. Really nicely tracked down by Ferraro. And you mentioned that looking like a pool play, Benji. This team does train together a lot. We ask them what makes them so good at sand, and they say every day they train on the sand, and you can see it in the way that those plays come together.
I know a lot of players think of Spanish Ultimate and they think about the small ball dink and dunk style offense, but I think it's a little bit stereotypical at this point to say, oh yeah, they're going to play the tiki-taka, but this Spanish team, if you give them the opportunity, they are more than happy to huck it.
I think that's the thing. We've seen teams and styles in different countries adapt over the years, and Spain has done such a good job of recognizing that if our defenders are going to sit under us, we can exploit the deep space. So if we are playing small ball and they adapt to sitting under, they'll punish you deep instead. You
have to be multi-dimensional if you want to be tough to defend. Australia now looking deep themselves again. It blades a little bit early, and Choosebid comes up short. This time, no time like the present for Spain. You get the disc back in play quickly. Tossed over to the far side for Fernandez. Teases inside to Lorenzo. Funjarinho dishes back off to Diaz. Fernando again really bouncing it around. Trying to never let the stall count get higher than a couple of seconds, and stoppage away from the play. Of course, we had Spain mixed up against Australia mixed on this field last time slot, and obviously the Spanish support is getting loud in the stands. The tattooed Fernandez. That's the lofted pass to Funjarinho. He's going to try and loft it again. Finds the seam of space to Sergio Diaz Poeta. And Spain with another break. They're really beginning to click into those higher gears now.
Yeah, you said it there so well, Benji. It's the higher gear that they're playing in. That one break at the start, and then through the holds, just biding their time and getting better as this game goes on as well, showing us exactly why they are the second seed of this tournament and one of the favorites to potentially go all the way as well. This open division really exciting, Benji. We saw France take on USA Open earlier today in a universe point game, and I know you had the pleasure of commentating that one, but
it was a pleasure indeed.
Spain will have their eye on those teams as well.
Yeah, these are certainly teams that expect to see themselves in the bracket, and when you get there, you just have to take it one game at a time, of course. How many upsets do we see over the years because teams are, they're looking, okay, who are we going to face in the final, and they slip up along the way because they've not given it their full focus and attention. Mitchell picks up from the floor, runs a little give-go with Jackson as the defender overcommits, continuing to push the pace. Oh, now. Across to Helig Smith. Oh, scuttles underneath. Once the reset option finds Zabel. Now Jackson again, just getting it out of his hands as quickly as possible. He does not want to be holding onto that one for any longer than he has to, like the proverbial hot potato. Zabel and Mitchell then run the little 1-2. Everything seems like it's being driven from the backfield at the moment. Zabel steals a march underneath. Can he punch it into the front cone? Monus is too late to stop it going to Helig Smith for the score.
Helig Smith timing that undercut really well as well there. Just as you were saying, it was all going through the backfield. Benji, Australia able to work it into that front cone, but you're right, they were struggling to connect with those upfield cutters in the earlier bit of that point. Spain doing such a good job at guarding those out. You see the Australian flags. The support out here has been amazing. The Australian team in the stands as well, watching this one, cheering them on.
Yeah, there's quite a large Australian delegation here, and it's one of the advantages of having 10 divisions, of course, with open mixed and women's, open mixed and women's masters, open mixed and women's grandmasters, and open great grandmasters as well. As it means that you do really get these events of where when you've got the time off, anytime you can look around and you've maybe got 2 or 3 other teams from your country there to support you. It really gives a big party atmosphere, and clearly we're trying to indoctrinate some of the younger viewers to the experience. I wonder if the young one's got an Ultiworld subscription. It's never too early to start. If you want to maybe illustrate how it's done, of course, this is coming to you free on YouTube. Then you can get an Ultiworld subscription to get access to the extensive Ultiworld video archive, as well as subscriber bonus segments and articles, and the Ultiworld Discord, or you can buy an event pass to watch all the action here from WBUC. Here's Pascal. Going back to Spiegel. Thinks about fitting it down the line, instead wants to get a little bit of horizontal separation away. Running the bounce, and that was so smooth from Spain as they take half 7-4.
Just the speed again of play from this Spanish team, Benji. So slick, so smooth, like you said. They move that disc within not even a whole stall, maybe half a stall on that play there, and making it look so easy, and very much, I think, 3-point lead, but in control of this game.
Yeah, we'll see if Australia can find a comeback in this second half. Spain with the advantage going into the interval and a 7-4 lead. See you on the other side. (7-4) Spain with the half-time advantage here against Australia. Their offense has put in all of their points. 3 for 5 on break chances as well. Clearly, Australia are going to have to find something a little bit different in the second half. Benji Rees alongside Becky Thompson. What do you think the message is in these half-time huddles?
I think for Spain, they'll still want to tighten up some of the turnovers that they've had. This team holds themselves to a very high standard, so looking to continue with that discipline. Australia, on the other hand, need to generate some more blocks of their own and turn up the pressure on defense.
So Spain with the 7-4 half advantage, receiving to begin the second stanza as well. Here's Spiegel, who has to reset his feet after he lost his footing in the fluffy sands. Fernandez getting onto a high stall, looking to put it out past the bidding Aussie defender, and now the quick bounce back goes into the hands of Alastrui. Spiegel once more takes the time out. Both sides get one time out to use the game, and you think it feels a little bit weird taking it with first point of the second half. It's not been a particularly long point, but Spiegel evidently not happy with what he saw. 7-4 then, Spain still with that 3-point lead. with a 7-4 advantage beginning the second half, but the offense did look a little bit out of rhythm, and Sebastian Spiegel says, our standards are high, we're not gonna settle for this. We're going to take the extra moment just to recenter ourselves and make sure that we're on the same page, because it did look a little bit discombobulated.
Yeah, and it looked a little bit stagnated as well, which we're not used to seeing from this Spanish team. There's always very clear isolation cuts coming from the upfield position. So I think Spiegel getting that disc back into the middle and looking up and going, no, we know we need a good hold here out of halftime. They want to extend their lead and really punish this Australian side here and not let them get back into the game.
So disc checked in by Jackson, and Spiegel begins by resetting back to Fernandez. Now the gainer downfield to the bespectacled Alastrui. Spiegel adjusts to make the reflex catch and then gets stuffed by Jackson. Hello. Have we got a game on here? Della back to Jackson. Who's going to sit this one up? It's floaty, it's dangerous, and it ends up in the hands of Matthew Zabel. They love his potential, the Reef Sharks, and maybe they sense blood in the water now, because from out of nothing, Australia have begun to get it going in the second half, and that's a break to start.
Well, you say out of nothing, Jackson putting up an absolute trust throw there to Zabel, backing his receiver to make a play. He dropped the first attempt and somehow was able to make that second effort. Jackson backing up the block he got earlier in the point on Spiegel. See Spiegel going to ground there, and Jackson just stuffs it straight into the ground, gets it on this near sideline, and that is definitely a trust throw, just putting it up into the air. The second effort grab from Zabel and the head spike after. That is absolutely incredible.
It's so sick from Zabel, because defender does a really good job of interrupting that. And the reflexes, all that flutterguts practice really coming in handy there. Spiegel, as we mentioned, got point block because he went to try and get the throw out quickly with the no pivot. But that meant he didn't have the reach around the mark of Jackson, partly because there was another Spanish player in close quarters. So things were a little bit gummed, and Jackson took advantage.
And the first break for this Australian team as well. A great time to do it out of halftime, starting on defense. See if that can generate some momentum and change the course of this game.
From a neutral perspective, it's exactly what the game needed. Spain, remember, of course, took the time out on that point as well, because they were so unhappy with how the offense was working. Didn't really seem to do the trick.
Yeah, I do think that timeout call may have actually not worked in their favor in the end there, Benji. I know Spiegel must not have liked what he saw upfield, but it did stop their momentum, and it gave Australia's defense a chance to take a breather as well and set up their D.
That ball land way out of bounds, and the indelibly inked Fernandez gets the chance to bring it to the brick mark. Thomas Della will get those long levers in on the mark. Pasco slashes across early, lays out with two hands to secure. And Spain, there we are, there's a bit more tempo about the possession this time, but they come unstuck. Alvaro Monterde fumbles.
Very uncharacteristic mistake from Monterde as well.
Mikey Hartfield, as they swing into the central position. Not a lot going on downfield, so he steps and sits it up. This seems a little bit dangerous with a defender, but it's superbly read by Oliver Spelderwinder. And it's another Australian break. What's going on, Becky?
Australia just happy to put out these deep shots for these breaks as well, Benji. Trusting their receivers, Spendulilda there, tracking that one across, fading away from him, really over his head to make the grab. And Spain look a little bit shocked, I think, here out of halftime, Benji. 2 breaks in a row now for this Australian team, and we have a game on our hands.
Yeah, Spelderwinder breaks out a textbook forward defensive in celebration afterwards, because they are repelling the Spanish tide and they're beginning to fight back. They've blunted this Spanish attack and been able to take advantage. What a grab by Spelderwinder. This is a tough play to make, with the disc always fading towards the sideline.
I'm going to say exactly that, Benji. That disc fading away, but makes it so hard on the defender to make a play as well. Australia showing us that they're not going away. I think I said before halftime that Spain were in control of this one, and the tides have certainly changed now, Benji.
It's a funny thing, isn't it? Because it's not even a true break at halftime. It's just a mirror half. But just a little split second to get you out of rhythm really has given Australia such a boost. Monterde bouncing with Spiegel. Fakes once, but then does take that swing option. Spiegel catches. They've got the isolation downfield, but Spiegel doesn't pull the trigger on this occasion. Cutter goes deep again. This time Spiegel likes the option of Ruben San Jose, and that is exactly why, because it is delivered true, and Spain on the board for the second half.
Yeah, good option there from Spiegel. I was surprised he didn't throw the first one. There was a deep cut that was open earlier, and he looked like he hesitated. So maybe the second time of asking, seeing San Jose go into that space, knew he had to take that one on. 2 goals, 2 assists for Spiegel, and Spain get themselves back on the board in the second half.
That is exactly what Spain needed. Got to stop that Australian momentum before it gets too much. And again, just another precision deep shot from Spiegel, who throws with such wonderful touch. And plucks it in with the right hand. Left hand, even. Left hand. I know my left from my right, I promise. It's a hot day, all right.
It is a hot day and a nice day so far. Even though the wind has picked up down there, Benji, doesn't look like it's affecting this game yet as well. The throws beautifully sat out as a massive pull goes up for Spain.
This one is too big. Manu's struggling to find his range a little bit with the pull. Jackson will gladly take that one from the brick mark. Alice 3 is waiting for him there. Doesn't have a reset option. Kylo is isolated front and centre. His first cut is to receive it underneath and then give the return pass back to Jackson. Doesn't see a reset, so Jackson wants to squeeze it down the line, on a line, to Andy Mitchell for the clean Australian hold. First time their O-line's taken the field in the second half, and they did not miss a beat.
Andy Mitchell there doing such a good job to recognize that Jackson was running out of options as well. And Australia, Benji, really have been happy with just putting out these chest throws into space, trusting their deep receivers. And I think that the change in their style, almost being a bit more aggressive in the second half, has actually really benefited this Australian team. See, Jackson was looking for the reset, was marked out, and then Mitchell, 2 defenders in the space, but that disc put perfectly into his hands.
Jackson's showing that he can be a real weapon. It's not been perfect from him so far, but 1 goal, 3 assists, and 1 block compared to just 1 turn is a pretty tidy output, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely making his mark on this one.
Game advisors just reminding players of the time limits between points. Spain ready and raring to go. Australia just communicating some final instructions across. Della with yellow Ultrastar in hand pulls. And there is a offside call potentially?
Yeah, a few offside calls in this game, Benji. Both teams making those offside calls, so really looking to see if the advisors are signaling for it.
Do the signal.
Spiegel to Pasco. Collects it underneath once more. Monterde tries to find a line through the mark, but instead just a little bounce with Hiron. Monterde out into space. San Jose now, as Australia doing a good job of just applying some slowdown here. Good job on the mark, staying active, but in the end, the yellow and green seas parted, and they fit it into the end zone for the score.
Monterde was just waiting on that front end zone line. But Spain really was running out of options there again, Benji. That is, they settled themselves. They're making less errors, but Australia has really turned on their defensive pressure in this second half, and Spain didn't have a reset option, was forced to put up a late option into the end zone, but Monterde was recognizing that and was just hanging out waiting for that pass. But I have to say, Spain haven't looked as comfortable so far in this second half, Benji.
Certainly, you feel like if Australia had been this good from the start of the game, it would be very even, but they just took a little bit of time to really get up to speed, you feel. Staying active, really trying to play heads up, help defense. But they found that window through to Monterde for the score. This pull takes the hop through the end zone. Hellig Smith will bring it to the front. Zabel isolated on the near sideline. Fanjarino will try and cover him up. Passes off the switch deep as Australia take the under to O. Big swing to the available player on the far side, Sutas. O going short to Zabel. Already seeing that he can pull out the spectacular if required. Australia's offense not really in a rhythm so far at this point. Has to make the late adjustment. Superbly done by Sutas. Throws from the floor, a travel called.
It looks accepted as well. Just nodding his head with the call there. Little thumbs up too. I think just falling over as he threw, causing that travel.
Does find the same option down the line, however, to Zabel. And Zabel takes the blade. As soon as he released it, he knew that he got it wrong.
Zabel had teammates on the sideline pointing to Hellig Smith in the end zone, telling him that he had a wide open receiver, and I think Zabel just rushed the execution on that throw because Hellig Smith was so open.
I mean, I totally agree. I think it was the right look, but really badly mis-executed. Fernandez plants his foot in the central zone, and we're back underway. Underneath is Lorenzo. Ooh, low. Fanjarino makes a great adjustment to scoop before it hits sand. Then goes with the offhand and a little bubble, but not a problem. Push pass out in front to Diaz. Fernandez looked off in favour of Lorenzo. Now here is Fernandez. Fanjarino open, calls for it. So good at using that offhand to find those throwing lanes, and Spain get their first break of the second half, with Australia powerless to stop them after the turn.
Yeah, and I think you could see how much effort Australia had put into their offense on their possession there as well, Benji, because on defense you could see how tired some of the players looked, unable to keep pace with the Spanish players there. And Spain's first break of this second half as well, surviving a little scare from Australia out of halftime, but putting themselves back in the driver's seat quite comfortably now, Benji.
Yeah, Australia would have to muster another monumental effort to get level once more. You wonder if they'll look back and think that was a good opportunity that we just rushed, and whether that's a little bit of inexperience or just not being able to keep yourself on the level against the quality of Spain, and you don't get that many open options. It can get really easy to rush them when they do come available.
And we've seen on the previous points as well, Australia have been so comfortable with those deep shots, and they've been working for this Australian team in the second half as well. So maybe just banking on one too many of those options and just needing to value the disc a little bit more, especially in the later stages of this game. Only 2 minutes left until the soft cap as well.
Van der Weyden finds the underneath option, and now they're looking for the deep. Not a particularly good idea when it was underthrown, and Mira in the way with a relatively easy block to slap to the floor.
Once again, Australia trying to rely on those aggressive options. That one a little bit better of an option than the previous one, I think, but again, the throw just not executed the way that they wanted.
And the plant come underneath. They've got steps deep, but they weren't really looking for it. Instead, struggling to find an option in the underneath space, but they squeeze it through. Monus then finds a lead pass to Romano to get a little bit more room. Beginning to inject a bit of pace. Romano looking deep for Monus. He's going to have to work, and he got hands on it. But at full extension, he could not hang on. I wondered if he could have maybe chased a little bit closer, but he will know on the sand. Maybe he felt that it was now or never. He can only just tip it further on.
So close from Monus, getting full extension. Like you said, maybe could have taken another step, but did get two hands onto the disc, and I think he'll want that one back, Benji.
It was tough, but anytime you get a hand on it, you always feel, maybe I could, maybe I should have had it, but it would have been a heck of a play had he done so. Blow and switch, passed off deep. Can he catch up to it? Slightly awkward catch, but stuck in the end by Hodgson. He pops just past the bidding Romano into the end zone to Lou for the score.
We've seen Spain look for those switches in the lanes quite a few times, Benji, and so far it's been very successful when they've done it, but on this occasion, a wide open yellow shirt just in near the end zone does a good job to track it down as well, but Australia takes full advantage this time with good execution on the throw on the open player. Get a look at it there. You can see the two players guarding one under together, leaving the wide open receiver.
This is, I think, a really underrated aspect of Spain on the sand. People ask, how are they always in position? Is it just because they move so naturally? And partly is that they are very comfortable on the sand, but it's also the old adage, work smarter, not harder. The reason they seem like they're always in the way is because they communicate so well. They're really good at passing off those switches, so they're making themselves have to do a little bit less work, and essentially they're letting you come to them. The problem is, however, when you pass off a switch and it's not picked up, you look mighty foolish. Centering pass to Spiegel. Taking on the break to San Jose. Spiegel comes back under. He could open it up, but no, instead thinks that's not the highest percentage option. San Jose to the seemingly omnipresent Spiegel. San Jose catches once more, little shovel out to Spiegel, and Giron was not looking for that at all.
And Spiegel, I think, rushed that as well and threw it almost into the shoulder of the Australian defender there.
That one just pings off the hand, and Spiegel picks up quickly, looking to pierce a dagger through the reef shark heart, and they could not keep up in time, and San Jose finds Spiegel to put Spain within one of the win.
You could see Spiegel there almost sigh with relief after he made the catch for that goal. I think grateful to get it back after his error. And Spain, look at that, Sebastian Spiegel, 3 goals, 2 assists, having himself a great game, even with 1 or 2 of those uncharacteristic mistakes there.
Yeah, I think this is one of sometimes the criticisms of Spain is they can get ahead of themselves, but the reason Spiegel is usually so good is because he's so decisive about when to pull the trigger and when to holster it. And on the sand, he's a whirling dervish at times. He just always seems to be able to get free in the tightest spaces. And I'm not sure there's a better finesse thrower in the game than Sebastian Spiegel.
Yeah, Spiegel has been a delight to watch. You see the sigh of relief there. I think this is one of the things that makes Spain so good. They do hold themselves to such a high standard, always wanting to work extra hard to get the goal after a mistake like that as well. And 11-8 now, soft cap on, so it will be a game to 12 here, Benji, and I will not be surprised to see Spain bring out a really big D-line here.
I think if you made a list of the best players in Europe, Sebastian Spiegel might go overlooked, because since playing with the World Games in Germany, with Germany at the World Games in 2022, we've only seen him on the sand, but whenever he plays, it's such a joy. Here's Australia now looking deep. This is an awkward read for Jackson, and if he'd have caught that, it would have been catch of the century.
Jackson just lost that disc as he was trying to track it down and ended up kind of blindly throwing himself into the space, hoping to make a catch. It landed almost on his feet, and you could see some of the Spanish players as well couldn't believe the catch he almost made. Just throws himself and almost manages to get a hand to it. That would have been sensational, Benji.
I mean, it's so tough when you don't have sight of it. What do? You need to somehow catch it with whatever, just hope that your luck comes in. That time it was not to be for Jackson, but he got really close to it, actually, closer than I thought. Spain could finish it here with a break. There's the deep shot. Fungerino, can he get there? He put in the full extension dive, but it was not enough.
Yeah, that disc, unfortunately, you could see it just fading away from Fungerino, no matter how hard he was trying to get to that disc. We've seen Spain be so good at those leading passes. That one, unfortunately, just not quite enough touch on it to sit it up in the air.
Hodgson will bring us back in play. Zabel charges off deep, but Australian handlers never truly looking at that option. Jackson wants a little bit of clearance as he looks to flip this one over the top of Kyle O. Fungerino got a big hand on it, but O thinks he came through the back to do so.
I think there was definitely contact on that play, Benji. I thought Fungerino might have got a touch before making the contact, but I think in this situation it did affect O's ability to make a catch, and you see it more on that second angle. It definitely affected O's ability, I think, to make a play on the disc.
Yeah, and having looked at it, Fungerino says, okay, fair enough, accepted foul. I mean, it's a crazy athletic play, but it's not clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's play.
Fungerino, who came through the system at the University of Brighton, the Panthers, and is, I think, now based in Basel with free speed. Accepts the foul call, and Kyle O gets us back into play. Hodgson now to O, looking every inch the Aussie with a trademark mullet. O looking to squeeze it into Van der Weyden, it's not there, but he can just get the little shovel to Jackson. Australia extending this game 11-9. Spain will have 3 O points to close this out.
It felt like it almost had to be Jackson to get the goal here for Australia after he almost made that sensational effort for a grab earlier in the point. And he has had a fantastic game as well here for the Aussies. 11-9, we talked about it before. I think the second half, Australia will be very proud of how they performed, maybe want some of the moments of the first half back, but this could help them generate some momentum if they're able to move into power pools. It does depend a little bit on the results of the other teams in this pool to see if Australia will move into that top power pool. Spain have guaranteed themselves a spot in the top power pool regardless of what happens in this one, but Spain now as well, Benji, going out with that O-line that we've seen be so efficient. Spiegel back on the line, see if they can close it out.
Yeah, certainly they would back themselves to do it. If not now, then they've got 2 more opportunities, but with the quality the Spanish O-line have, they would back themselves to get it done at the first time of asking. Here's the ball, which lands just shy of the end zone before Giron picks up. Spiegel with a big pump fake to Monterde. Now Giron. Oh, what a play defensively! An enormous layout block from the rookie Harper Graham Knight. He was picked out as one to watch by the coaches, and that is exactly why take a bow, Harper Graham Knight. Jackson coming over to the D-line to marshal the offense after the turn. Taking the swing to give themselves some more lateral room to work with. Fit in on the break throw. They find Thomas Della. Australia are not going without a fight. The Reef Sharks are closing in on their prey potentially.
That has been the story of this second half, is the defensive efforts from this Australian team have just been top-notch. Coming all the way through on that incredible layout block. You see the celebration there from Graham Nye. He knows how good that was. We'll get another look at it. He set off so early for that play, Benji, and Intermendi almost no option there trying to make that catch, but Harper Nye, incredible. Graham Nye, incredible stuff, Benji.
Whenever you see a play like that, it just puts a big old smile on your face, I think. His first chance with the national team, he says this is his career highlight, and he's got a specific highlight to go along with that as well. Whatever happens as a result of this game, I'm sure they'll be showing that clip for a fair old while. I know I would in his position.
Oh, absolutely. That's the kind of one you want to clip up and watch over and over again.
But the man in Manly on that occasion, which is, of course, where he is based. Della with the pull, again favouring the outside-in backhand. Fernandez comes over to the O-line, and his first pass is to Spiegel. Tight pressure downfield from Kyle O. There's the deep shot. Gunn from San Jose. Can he read it? Superb grab to finish by Juan Pascual. Ending in some style. Spain close it out 12-10. And I must admit, a really fun, feisty affair, Becky.
Yeah, the first half of this game, Benji, looked like Spain was going to be in control the whole way, but Australia turned up into another gear, I should say, in the second half of this one, and we'll be very proud of this performance. But Spain continuing to maintain their lead through some of those big plays. You see Kyle O putting full extension effort for the D before going all the way back the other way. Great read on that play from Castro, and Spain with the win here over Australia.
Yeah, have a look at the story of the game from a statistical perspective. I think both sides have things they'd like to clean up. Spain actually hitting on a higher percentage of their break chances, but Spain generated more opportunities, and when you generate more opportunities, you don't have to be as precise with them, although I'm sure they will look back and think, on the turn, we can clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And standout performances from Spiegel for Spain and Andrew Jackson as well for Australia. I won't be surprised, Benji, if we see both of these teams in the later stages of this tournament. That was a great display of Beach Ultimate.
100%. And if you want to watch every game here from the World Beach Ultimate Championships from Portimão, Portugal, you can do that with an Ultiworld subscription, which gets you access as well to the Ultiworld video archive, plus loads of subscriber bonuses and goodies, as well as access to the Ultiworld Discord. Or if you just want every single game from the World Beach Ultimate Championships, you can get an event pass to watch this game and all three of our auxiliary field streams as well. Wonderful game with a lot of back and forth. Australia had their moments, but in the end, Spain were not to be denied. And on the stylish finish from Juan Pascual, Spain close it out with a 12-10 final score. We'll see you on the other side.